Hello everyone. Hello Jerry, can you hear me alright? Will you be quiet? I'm on the live. Can you hear me Jerry alright? Let's have a look where comments. I'll try and get it up. Live chat. Yeah, hello Jerry mate. I'm just trying to get so I can see what's going on, that's all. Onto my computer there. Put that off. So what are you doing today, Jerry? Hiya Maria. Thanks for coming along. I've got Jimmy the Parrot on my shoulder. There is my pirate tattoo. I'm a pirate parrot. But I haven't got my pirate bandana on because I'm inside. Hiya Mike. That's great. Jason Shanks. Hello mate. Penn Junction. Hello. All gauge trains and slot cars. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I'm just going to move this computer to there so I can just switch round. I hope everyone's all right. That's better again. I'm just going to show you what Jimmy, you're on the thing now. This is Jimmy. Hiya Lee. Thank you. He is a nice bird. He's a noisy nuisance at times, aren't you, Jimmy? But you know, he can see himself on the computer screen now, so he's wondering what's going on. I've been working on that building that I got, that Wallfish building. Thank you, Maria. We have 3 parrots altogether. We've got this one who's a Senegal parrot. Then we have an African grey who talks and he's very naughty and very, very bitey. Jimmy, be quiet. And we've also got an Amazon orange-winged something or other, orange-winged parrot. Mighty M&M, how are you doing, mate? Charlie, hiya Charlie, mate. Yeah, everything's fine here. Thank you very much. The African grey swears, Maria, he really does. He swears a lot. He really is foul-mouthed. he's got a nasty mouth on him, and he swears when people are doing the hoovering or the vacuuming, Jerry. He swears when you go in the room, if you're just sitting quiet having a drink, he'll swear. But when you actually put a camera in front of him and want him to talk, he won't. But the minute you turn your back and go out of the room, he'll F and blind at you. Now this, I'll just show you this building I've been doing. I'm not quite finished. Off you go. This is that dairy building. Forgot what it's called. Something milk. I've put some of the transfers on that I got from Scale Model Scenery. They make them up to whatever you want, and put the detail on. I've used a decal softener that you put, you release these from the paper with water as normal, and then you put the softener on. Thank you. And 1 sec. This is the softener. I think it's from Vallejo, and you put that onto the wall, and then you put these transfers on. Oh, lovely. My son's just brought me a lovely coffee. Thank you, Stephen. Nice. And I've put it on 2 sides because I can't fit it on this side with the fire escapes going on and the ladders and things. And at the front, this is actually the front of the building, there isn't a clear space. Oh, because of the window. This is much more difficult than I anticipated. Because of the window in the centre there, I'd have to split the sign up, which I may well do. So it's got a sign on at least 3 sides. That's going to go on the layout where I had a car sales room. I made a car sales room out of a a clear plastic cover and just put wood round. Sorry about that, I realise I went offline then for a second. Something's happening. And that's the roof of it. That's actually the natural colour that the roof comes. I haven't done anything to that, but I have coloured the chimneys silver and whatever. I'm going to dirty that roof up a lot more, and I'm going to put it through a few things that are thrown onto the roof that people have chucked on. This little building was the barber shop one, and I started putting a Coca-Cola sign on, and I wanted to make it look, you know, like you see on Franklin in South Manchester and that, where they've had a faded painting on the wall. I wanted to make it look like that, and it turned into a great big mess, because what happened was, sorry, do you want to be quiet out there? Sorry about that. My youngest son, although he's in his 20s, is very noisy. He's more noisy than the parrot. I used a paper, and I got the Coca-Cola sign cut out, and I thinned it right down, filing the back away with the sandpaper with one of these emery boards, and it were almost see-through. And mistake was, I put a solution of PVA, 50/50 water PVA. I put it onto the paper before putting the paper onto the wall, and I slipped up, and most of it came away. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things. There's not a lot I can do about it now. But you know, it's there and now, and it's faded a bit. But that's the back of the building with the drains. Excuse me, lovely coffee. And the soil stack and whatever. Those components for this, there's little brackets that slide onto the tube, and you glue them down all the way up and down, and those come from Model U. They make them really tiny, and they're only a couple of quid, 3 or 4 quid for a set of 10 or more. And that's this side, and you see the TV aerial, and you can just, sorry, it's actually the coming down from the aerial, so it looks like brown coaxial cable. So I have a little bit more to do at that. Excuse me. But I was really annoyed the way that paper turned out. Let's have a look what's going on. Rick Bailey, thank you for coming. Sarah, hello. Jerry, can I make you a moderator, please? Thank you. I didn't see your answer, Jerry, but let's see if that's worked. Yeah, you should be the moderator now. Thank you very much, Jerry. I hope you're doing. Hiya, GFW. Hiya, Charlie. Hiya, Rick Bailey. I hope everyone's doing all right. I was just talking about that damn sign that I did, and I put it on the web on railwaymodelers.com. That's the club from Scale Model Scenery. I mean, the club page gets more hits than Facebook. It's absolutely brilliant for going on and seeing what everyone's doing and things that are going on and what have you. And you can, if you remember, you can get your own page on there to promote your own stuff, what you're doing, your own layout, your YouTube channel, whatever you want. It's great. So I went on there and I posted this picture and explained what I'd done and asked for honest opinions. And there were quite a few that said it just looks like a splodge of pink paint, mate. You've made a right mess of it. You're an idiot. All the rest of it. And yeah, it looks a mess because I didn't know what I was doing. That was my first attempt. So I did another on a scrap piece of wall. And this is Coca-Cola again, but with I sanded it down and I wetted the wall with the PVA mix, and then I put the paper onto the PVA mix, and I got a brush that had sort of stiffish bristles, and I dabbed all over it. Will you keep on and off? Let me just see if I can let's see, I'll switch on that data. Hopefully that may help. And I'll plug this into, if I can somewhere. And I think it's made it a lot better. It's made it a lot better than what it was. Well, this is just on a scrap piece. It's just on a scrap piece of brick I had, but you can see the brick line through it. It looks like it's painted, and everyone agreed that were a lot better. Now I know Mark's in from Hemel Down, and I've got some things for Mark. I was gonna post them, and then somebody got the COVID in the house, my oldest son, and then Sharon got it. Although everyone's been jabbed, vaxxed, boosted, and triple jabbed and everything, so I had to isolate for 10 days. Jimmy, please. And then we had to retest, and someone still tested positive, so I had to carry on with my isolation. But Mike, I haven't forgotten you, mate, and I have got these goodies for you. Oh, including this one, and oops, sorry, wobbling everyone out, and the rusty one as well. So they all are here, they're all yours, and they've got your name on them. It's just getting me backside down to the post office, which I promise you I will do. Anthony Dodge, thanks for coming. Hiya. Steve, how you doing, mate? Vern, hiya. Charleston Eastgate, I think it's Andy. Anthony Duval. Dwight Curley, thank you very much. David Zeta G, thank you for coming. I really do appreciate everyone coming along. Wow, you're all having snow. Luckily, it's a cool day and grey, but we haven't no rain or snow or anything like that. Those are some of my Hot Wheel collection. You can see hanging on the wall behind. I've run out of room to put them, so I'm shoving them in drawers and hanging them up everywhere till I get sorted out with some sort of... It's absolutely full of the things I've got to build, kits and stuff that I got to keep me busy from Scale Model Scenery. So I may as well just show you the type of stuff they do. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I do get a lot of stuff from them because they do good stuff, and it's super quick delivery, unbelievably fast. I ordered stuff on a Wednesday night, and it were after hours Wednesday night, after tea time and everything, when just browsing about, saw a few stuff, ordered it, and Friday morning it's there, delivered. This is the orange trunking that you see when they run a cable or a wire under the tracks. That's the stuff you see. They run an orange trunk under and then run the cable through it, so that's for where the wires cross over. This next one is the railings. You know, you see these railings in all kinds of different places. I've put them on these fire escapes. You see them around roofs, around the edges of footpaths, and so I got a pack, a couple of those. I've already used this much. I've got one here cut out, I'll show it you there, and they lend themselves to being painted really good. I use the silver airbrush paint, and then I'll rust them up here and there. I'll put rust on them in different places. Pack of ladders. These are always useful to have, so you can put ladders on roof racks of trucks and vans, ladders up chimneys, sides of buildings, in workshops, everywhere like that. These were in my video the other day, the old cardboard boxes. These are what I'm going to use, Jerry, when we were looking at that thing in LA where they were throwing all the boxes out onto the track and dumping them. That's what inspired me to get a load more cardboard boxes. Now I don't know if I'm going to do that particular thing, but I will do something along those lines. These are the TWS grids to I think they count the axles or let the control know where the train is and what have you. Those sit on the track and they are actually that colour in real life. The road and let people look in. Hiya Kyle, good to see you mate. More of those. Those are steps that go up a harbour or up a quayside. I haven't got a harbour, but I bought them because they were there and available. And I'll just buy things for the sake of it to give me something to do building. Office desks and that, these are really fiddly, but they look brilliant on building interiors, which is what I'm working on next. All the buildings on my layout, you can see into them all, and only a couple have got an interior, so my next job is to detail all the interiors and see how good they are, what I can make them look like on the inside. Cable reels, tiny ones, little for communications cables and what have you when cable and wireless come. I got those ferns, we got. I showed those on my video the other day. Oh, I've just dropped that. These are the orange straps that you get for cargo. You know when they strap things onto a truck or a wagon. Those are individual straps for fastening on. I've got graffiti, water slide again, and those are a set of number plates, British number plates, because a few of my cars have got number plates on from different countries. They aren't typically British, so I've got to change them. I've got bus shelters, doors, windows, you name it, tons of stuff. Workshop shelving, absolutely. I've got about 50 kits. We don't gonna go through them all, it'll bore you to death, but they make everything you can think of. Bus stops and bus stop signs, corner pieces. You know when you're doing a scratch build, they call them coins, stone coins, and you're doing a scratch build and the corners are dreadful. These are what you cut out and stick onto the corner and hide all your inferior pieces of work. That's what I use them for. And I got a couple of packs of those. Wall ties, you see a lot of these in older buildings in Britain, and they're like steel clamps between the two walls. So you'll see these on the out. These are for channels between tanks and stuff like that, where they've got to walk safely around hazardous equipment and things. More sliding doors, house nameplates. These are good. Tools, little tools, and I don't know how well you can see them on here, but there's hammers, saws, little G clamps, hacksaws, bench vise, all kinds of stuff, pincers, pliers, screwdrivers and everything. Those are really good, and I've used quite a few on different things. Colour them up and stick them on people's benches. Window grills, those are always good to have, and walkway gantries, what they have on the track side. These are what employees from Network Rail and what have you use to cross the tracks. They use these. They're sometimes highlighted in yellow or orange so that they can be clearly seen. But I use these for all kinds of things. I've used them for fire escapes and made them look rusty and stuff. These are another good one. On the inside of buildings, talking about doing inside detailing and stuff, these are where your electrical outlets and things run, and you've got plug sockets and everything. I got a couple of packs of these, and unbelievably there's little pinholes in the sockets for a 3-pin plug to go in. I haven't got a 3-pin plug that small to go in, but they're there. That's how well detailed they are. There's a ton of stuff like that, and I've got pavements and stuff. These are MDF pavements, and you colour them either stone colour or cement concrete colour, and stick those on the layout. I've still got a lot of that to do with those. And then it's all just detailing parts like these. These are drain covers and grids and manhole covers and stuff. And they look fantastic. They really do. You can make them look steel coloured using weathering powders or brown and rusty. And they've got little names on them and everything, where they were cast, where they were made. And there's grills and everything. Ding those in. I'm going to have a quick look on here. I'm not ignoring you. I've just got my computer at the side of me. Apple and orange lines. Thank you for coming, Matthew Whitmore. How are you doing? How are you doing? They do, Jerry. They make some awesome stuff. These are the bricks. Vinny wants to know if they make these bricks in N scale, N gauge. I'm going to find out, and if they do, I'll send him some. That's what they look like when you paint them red. And I cut them out. Let's slide them out. Oops. I cut them out, and you can cut them out in a row or individually. And I use these at the top of windows, the bottom of windows. There's a ledge, all kinds of different ways to use them. There really is. I'm just going to move my drink because it's too near me, Parrot, and he'll do something horrible to it. I know he will. You say there, Jimmy. And these, you know, nothing here is expensive. Absolutely none of these things I'm showing you are expensive. Around a fiver, you know. There's some things that are more than a fiver when you're buying a big kit and things. But these are the ends for the pavements, you know, the corners where they rounded off, just like a pavement or a sidewalk would look. They've got it all. They really know what they're doing. They think of stuff that you don't even know you need until you look on there and realise that you do need it. These are laser cut slates. These are laser bored, so they won't react badly to a damper environment in a shed. Jimmy's back. And you just colour them in and stick them on in rows like real slate. They look fantastic. Black foam markings, self-adhesive. A full set of these might have been £6. I haven't used them all. I've just used some, but the yellow stripes can be used for parking, where you don't, you know, double yellows, and they can be used for all kinds of things. Lots of uses for them. And these are the fences here, crash barrier fences, what I'm using on the bridges, on the road traffic bridges. And these are steel poles, and they are steel, that go inside the concrete and hopefully prevent a vehicle from leaving the bridge. Security fences. I'll just see what else is in here. Stone copings, security fencing, which is the steel fencing around railways, and chain link security fence. Tons of stuff. And if you look here, this isn't all of it. This massive bundle here is stuff I've accumulated for projects that I sometimes I get stuck in straight away and do the project. Other times I change my mind, forget it, do something else. And other times I use stuff and don't use it all, and I end up not stuck with them, because they all have a use somewhere, you know. And as you're doing alterations and changes and you look at things, you're thinking, well, yeah, I can use it for that, I can use it for each other. So that's about where I'm up to with everything that's going on. Let's have a look in chat. John at School Kills, thank you for coming. Simon, hiya mate. I'm alright mate, yeah, I am keeping well. I'm trying to avoid any conflict with my parrot. Just see, he sometimes likes my coffee. If I put some on my finger and see if he likes it. Oh, blast it all, my battery's going low. Just hang on. Just hang on a sec, guys. Sorry about this. Oops. So sorry. Are we back? I believe we're back. I believe we're back now. Can everyone hear me? I'm sorry about that. My battery flashed up going low, so I had to plug it in. Can everyone hear me okay? All good, nice one, thanks Mark. Thank you. Oh, now that's gone for a bugle. This isn't going too well. I've just lost my bracket. Just hang on. Just hang on. Let's see if I can reattach that. Wow, this is very difficult. Okay, sorry. I'm just putting my camera bracket back together. Right, I'm going to have to hold on to it for now. Sorry about that, folks. Really am. See if I can keep it still. That's a little bit better. A little bit better. I'm sorry about that. Stuart, St Mary Churchyard. Sorry, Matthew. I'm having some problems. Oh, thanks for that, Jerry. Putting them up. That's great. That's great. I've just been I've just been having some problems there. My battery were running out, and then I've lost my camera mounting bracket. So I'm hoping I can reinstate the bracket in a sec. Jimmy, will you please be quiet? You know we're live. You know you're doing it on purpose. I'm just going to put camera there. 1 second, chaps. 1 second. Oh, blast. Sorry about this. Sorry. I am working on it. Technical difficulties. I'm working on it as we speak. Isn't going as well as I planned, is it? Losing cameras. Oh dear. I do believe. Are we all back? Is everything right now? I think I've got it. I think I've sorted it. Yeah, I think we're back. Well, yeah. Thanks, chaps. John Delay, Grandpa Rails, thank you. Thanks for that. I do apologise. That was I've got a bracket that you screw onto the desk, and it's got a flexible cable for holding the phone, and that unbelievably came adrift right as it warned me that my battery was going to run out. So that's about where I'm up to. I may as well show you this wagon. This belongs to Mark. He's in the chat, Mark Hemmeldown. Let's see, at Hemmeldown Railways in there somewhere. You still there, Mark? This is Mark's wagon, and it's one that I rusted up. Like I explained, I was going to port it out to him. Oop. And COVID kept us. Kevin, how you doing, mate? Thanks for coming. Hiya, Clive. Thank you. And it is getting ported. It's just getting down to the post office. And so that is what Mark wanted. He's moving house as well. So still here, Mark. Nice one. And I have a couple of others that I did as well. This is a short tanker. And it's got some vandalism and a bit of paint fade and what have you. It's older and knocking on. I've got a few tankers up and down, but I'm replacing my fleet with some more modern ones, and so I'll have more of these to rusty up and give away as time goes on. Yes, Jimmy, we know you're there. Oh, and it's got some graffiti on this side as well. That's the water slide stuff that from Scale Model Scenery that does all that. It is, Charlie. I've got all kinds of stuff. I've actually got more drawers full of paints and everything there. And this, the last one, is I always thought it was a car transporter, but it's not. I found out what, and it sits on there, and the axles sit in these wheel grooves, and the wagon sits across it, and those are the anchor point for the trailer wheels, for jacking wheels on the trailer. So that's on its way to Mark as well. So those three things that were in the video, I've got a new home with Mark. It's just, I've got a box and everything. I've just been delayed with one thing and another. We're getting them all there. I can't think what else. These, I'll tell you what, I can show you next. These, I've got a page on Pinterest, and that's called Digger Evans as well. And I get hundreds of pictures on there of different layouts, my layout, other people's layouts, and I have a page that's looking at city scenes, loads of New York and places like that, where I get my inspiration from. And on there as well, there's people who put signs up and pages, and you can print them off. You can print them off, and I've deliberately wanted these to look old, so I've faded the colour, and then I cut these out, sandpaper them along the back with that emery board, wherever I've put it, that emery board or a similar one. Yeah, that's the one. I use this one. It's got some glitchy thing or whatever on the other side. I don't use that, but the that side, it's not a really harsh grit, and you can sandpaper with that without going right the way through, and you sand it so it's really, really thin. It'd be too thin to put through the printer, so you've got to sort of make it thin after it's been printed, and then it looks really, really old. And once it's got looking old, you stick it on, but you put the wet glue mixture onto the building, and then put the sticker onto the building, the thing that you're making, and put that onto the building. So this is the one that turned out much better than the last one. So let's have a look. How many people are in? There's 20. Thank you ever so much. Well, this is great. I really appreciate everyone coming over. Rachel and Sean are in. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for coming, Rachel and Sean. Your co-moderator is Boxcar Jerry. He's a very good friend of mine from Philly, and you really like him. You get on really well with him, Rachel and Sean. He's a really decent chap, is Jerry. I have a lot of time for him, a lot of respect. He's a good bloke, and he goes live a lot himself, but he is a good lad. He helps out us whenever he can, and he's got a very, very good sense of humour, unlike some of my other friends. But that doesn't matter, the sense of humour. If they haven't got it, it's fine. But that's just about where I'm up to. I can't think of anything else I've got to show you. I just hope. Estonian Scrapper, hello mate. Thank you all very much for coming. I've not got much else. Let's have a look what's in drawers. I keep a collection of bits in my drawers. I can show you what this is. That glue, the plastic weld glue, and it's actually just methylene chloride, and you dip your brush in, run it between two pieces of plastic, and it melts the plastic together. If you put too much on, you can get a big gooey mess, and if you don't put enough on, it doesn't stick. But it's difficult. It's difficult to judge until you get to use it quite a lot. This is my, I'll show you this. This is my homemade paint shaker that I showed for Jerry. We had a massage chair. It's in the vise, and it's a vacuum vise, and it's in this vise purely and simply because that's just to hold it steady, something to hold it in. But I'll take it out of the vise, then we can see the business of what it is and what it does. So I could make a different holder, it doesn't matter. But with the vice, if I squeeze it really tight, it shakes less. And if I loosen it off, it shakes more. So it is good for that. I probably could make something in workshop of a similar nature without tying up my vice. All the wires, and then he I don't know where I was. And anyhow, I chewed it all to pieces and it had to be thrown away. But inside the massage chair were loads of little pods, and in those pods were these motors with an eccentric brass weight. And when these spin, it wobbles, it vibrates, which gave you a massage on your back. I've got another. I don't know if you can see it behind me or not. This chair, you can just about see the back of it here. I got another the other day, and that has a massage. So I got this motor, and onto that I soldered this little transformer, and it's upside down. My eyes are terrible. Let me just 45 300 milliamps, 1.8 volts, and that's enough to fire this motor without a resistor or anything. But it does have a suppressor on there, not that it needs it. And then this is just a little container, plastic container, and I put sponge around the inside and on the base of it, and it just fits nicely a bottle of Vallejo paint. And when you set it off, it agitates that without making a big mess, and it's not enough to fire out the top end, because these have all got a little dripper nib, and if you shake them up and down yourself, they'll come out of the nib and you'll get paint everywhere. So that's thank you, Simon, that's much appreciated. I'm in Apple and Orange Line. I'm in Pendle in northwest, but East Lancs, right on the border with North Yorkshire, East Lancashire, in the southern West Pennines. And so that's how I come up with that idea, because I do have the that Black & Decker saw, you know, a little reciprocating jigsaw thing, and I put some of the paints that are in jars with lids on. I've used those, and that's all right because nothing comes out, you know, they don't spill out because it hits the lid. But with the dropper paints, there's a space, you know, it's not a perfect contact, so they can come out, leak all over the place, and you open the cap and you've got a big mess of paint all over. Not only is it a mess, it's a waste of paint, and you're just wasting time having to clean it all up. So that, where have I put that? That doesn't matter. Oh, and this is the other stuff I got. Superfatic glue. This is the cheap stuff, 3 tubes for £1 from the pound shop. And when I use this, it's really, really liquid. It's really, really, really viscous, and it runs like water. The sticking power isn't brilliant. It really isn't. It's all right for some things, but if it's something that you're going to want a really firm hold and it might get handled like a building or something, it's not good for that because it comes apart too easily. I do use a lot of this. This is Gorilla glue with a brush. That's a cyanoacrylate, and I use a Loctite one as well. I use the Loctite a lot. That is a good glue. That is a good glue. Then I've got the glue and glaze. I use that when I'm fastening windows in, either acetate or plastic windows. You can even use that to make your own windows in small spaces. Sorry about this, I'm gonna... Jack! Quiet! Sorry about that. And that's just the ordinary rocket card glue, which you can use for card, paper, laser board, like those slates and stuff. And I've got this one because it did say it could be used for everything, and it looks just like the others, But if you get it on your fingers, it is really, really sticky. And I thought, well, let's try it, because it said plastic, but it doesn't hold plastic as quick like a super glue would or anything like that. And I'm just looking for good stuff to use, you know, to make sure I've got the best I can afford or the best there is available. It's not much, it's £5 or £6 brick. And this is a piece of off-cut of plastic card that I cut into a triangle so I could sit it up and make it stand up on its own. And I used the super fatty glue for that, for the plastic. And it's pretty good. It does wobble now, I've tried, but it does. It's one of those you can use. I wouldn't use it to put a building together, but I would use it in something that's not going to be handled. You know, if you just wanted to glue a road sign or something like that, that's ideal. That's ideal. And it's supposed to be very good for glue, foam, styrofoam, polystyrene, stuff like that, and carbon fibre and that. Well, so I've got it to try it, and it's all right. It's not super quick. You know, you've got to hold it there in place and let it go off. So and some things you want it quicker, like this plastic weld. It's instant. It's absolutely instant, and it is all right. Thank you for coming, Andy. I really do appreciate it. Take care, mate, and have a great what's left of the day. Thank you ever so much for coming. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every one of you coming along. It's really nice to see. I do appreciate every one of you. And so so that holds really quickly and really fast. And if you put enough on and that, it's a strong bond, and I suppose you could reinforce it afterwards with something like the Loctite or even the cheap glue. But I don't use an actual real plastic glue like Cousin Vinny does or alt. I've tried them, and I don't know, I didn't get on with it, but I'll try anything, and I'll try them again because they probably improved. The last time I used polystyrene cement, it wasn't very good. I've just got a drawer full of paints down here, and a load of paints in a rack that Rachel and Sean very, very kindly sent me. I'll just spin you around to see those, if you can there. All those paints you can see, and all those are what Rachel and Sean very, very kindly sent for me. Thank you, Rachel and Sean. You've really did me a massive favour doing that. Hyder and Steenback airbrush. The Ultra, it's the cheapest one they do. I think it's about 70 or 80 quid, and it's got a 200 micron needle and nozzle end in it, and this is ideal. Even if you do it covering a big surface, if you want a big surface quickly, you can up the air pressure, but 1 atmosphere or less, and it does a fantastic job. It really, really does. And I think for the money, it's one of the best you can get. It's the Mercedes-Benz of airbrushes. Whereas I think there's some big fancy ones that are Bentleys and what have you. David Boyce, hiya mate. Thank you very much for coming. You've got some good spotting videos on your channel, mate. You really have. Much appreciate you coming. Thank you. So that's about it. I'll show you my membership. This is if you join Railway Modelers Club, you get a membership card. You get all kinds of stuff. I think they send you a pack of biscuits as well in your welcome membership pack. You get all kinds of stuff to welcome you in, and newsletters and all the rest of it, tangible ones that you can hold. Then you get a newsletter every weekend by email. And the most important thing, they've done different formats, and they've settled on a format now of, if you are a member of the Railway Modelers Club, every download kit that they have is free as many times as you want. And they've got brick, paper, roof slates, roof tiles, stone, breeze block. They've got all that kind of stuff. Then they have carpets, for the interiors, wood floors for the interiors. You download and print it, and they all look really good, and they're all for nothing. I've downloaded. I had a day where I just downloaded a few of each and printed them all off, so I've got them ready in case I need them. What's that? Sorry. Nearly 200 videos out tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Oh, nice one. I'll look out for that, David, especially the 37s. Bye, Rachel and Sean. Thank you ever so much for coming. Thank you so much. That's about it, I think. There's nothing else I can enlighten you with. Though, yeah, we're going to tell you the rest of that club. If you buy anything from Scale Model Scenery and you're a member of the club, you get 10% off. You get 10% off everything that they make. They do 3D printed laser kits, all kinds of stuff. And everything there is 10% off if you're a club member, and it costs £6 a month to be a member. That comes out every month, £6. You get 10% off all year round, every order you do, and every order you do is sent by first class tracked post. So, like I say, you order it one day and you get it the next, and that's at no extra cost. You just, a standard £3 postage, something like that, but you get it upgraded to fancy really quick postage for free. Well, because you're a member. You get all kinds of other things. You get access to a lot of things on the site that non-members don't get access to. They have a live stream starting this Thursday with an industry expert, and it's Phil from Railway Modeller magazine, BRM, British Railway Modeller magazine, and he's doing an hour or so seminar on some fun aspects of modelling, and it's a members only event. But if you remember, you get an invite in your email. They tell you way in advance, and then you just click and join, and that's this Thursday evening. It's a great club. You can't lose out. I wish I'd have joined it, honestly, before I started my layout, because there's mistakes I've made that I would not have made and I read what was available to me on there. Well, it's one of those things. It's too late. I've done the mistakes, and it's a good old learning curve. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming over. There's 31 in chat. That's brilliant. Hiya, Sean McGee. Thank you for coming. I hope you're all doing well. I'm not sure who's on live tonight or later on this evening. My favourite train model out of the models I've got, I think it's the Class 612. It's a Freightliner Class 66, and I really do like that, although it can't handle anything lower than a third radius. But it is nice. It's a Barkman, and I've got a Class 86 that's nice. But I've got a soft spot for the Falcon, as my dear old dad did the development with Hawker Siddeley and Maybach and what have you on the engines for the Falcon, and for the Class 31 back with Merleys as well. He was involved in all the lot, and it was a groundbreaking locomotive when it came out. It really was. So I'm proud of my dad for his involvement, and that's got a special place for me, as the Falcon and the Skinhead, the 31, both very nice engines from Brush. Very nice. But I'm not a big fan of steam, although I like Big Boy, Union Pacific Big Boy. Who doesn't? That's a beast in it. I love that machine. But I'm a diesel electric, really. Alan from Dragon Junction, thank you very much for coming. This is great to see so many people here. It really is. I'm trying to think of something else I can show you folks that'll keep you interested. Right, my varnishes. I don't know who does varnish and who doesn't varnish, but I use a matte varnish on most things. You can use a gloss varnish if you're wanting to use paint for capillary stuff, like if you wanted to put markings or details around all the scratch lines in an aircraft or something like that, you could use a gloss paint, and then you just dip your brush in your line paint, and it'll run along those lines quite happily with the gloss paint helping it along. But you don't want a gloss shine, so you matte coat it afterwards. I very rarely use a gloss paint for anything, but I've got here, I've got a couple of different ones. This is a very thin, very thin, and it reeks. It reeks, so you've got to have either your spray booth extractors or windows opener, do it outside. And it dries pretty quick, and it actually is called Lucky Varnish. I don't know why, and that's from Ammo from Mig, and that's a really good one. You can use it neat, or you can indeed do it down a bit. You can dilute it and thin it even more if you want. And it is an acrylic, so it's fairly safe to use. These are the thinners I use for my acrylics, and I don't know, that's only £5 or £6 for a bottle, and it lasts you forever. I don't use it for cleaning the airbrush unless I've got a really big mess on my hands. Some people can use thinners, or you can use they make airbrush cleaner, but either one, water's fine, and so is window cleaner, Windex, or one of those in a squirty bottle. That's all fine to use to clean your airbrushes with. And it's also, I've seen people use it to dilute and thin down acrylic paints. Now, I've tried it, and the paint result was great, and it finished all right. Everything was fine, and it spread out the airbrush fine, but I got a gooey mess when I tried to clean it out with water, and the water didn't act well with the cleaner that I'd used as a paint thinner, and so it all ended up in a right big mess, a gooey mess, and it took me ages to clean. So I don't use it anymore. I just use that thinner. But you can, a lot of them you can use water, and they say use water, and I've used water and had very bad results. I just don't, you can do it, I just don't like the way it behaves, some of the pigments. I've got some here, Dust and Rust. I got this from Scale Model Scenery. This is about £15, and the pigments, it's a pigment set, and different sorts of dust in there. You can see the colours, 2 different shades of dust, very light rust, much darker rust, and darker rust still, and then a rust shading. Now these, the pigment in these is really strong. You only need a right bit of that, and you can dilute it a lot, so they'll last forever. They're 15 or 16 quid, which I think. I have used the dust a lot because I used a white paint, a dilute white that I mixed myself, and that's just plain acrylic out of a squeezy bottle with acrylic thinner, and I put that in the airbrush, and then I use it on buildings, vehicles and everything to make them look sun faded, like they're dull and they've been out there a while. And I was using that, and that's fine. But when I got these dusts, I decided to have a go with those, and even better. And what I do, I have little bottles. These I got to paint up. If I've got leftover, I chuck it in one of these, and it's a little dropper bottle. These are about 50p a dozen or something, or £1 a dozen on eBay. And I put it in there, that dropper comes off, and I've got it ready mixed for next time then, and it's exactly the same mix, exactly the same shade, provided you remember what you've done at it. But those, I can't remember how many. I got loads and loads of them, you know, and they come with the dripper lid and the screw cap, and they were pence. They work out at a few pence each, and I just have those to cover the last paint that's left after a job. and then I can reuse it. And the other thing, I don't know who uses Mascol, if any of you do use that Mascol. And what Mascol does, you can use it if you were painting and you had a delicate edge that you didn't want to get the paint on. You can put Mascol over it. Say it's like a window frame or something. You can dip your brush in Mascol and put it over, and it dries to like a rubbery type of cover, and then you can peel it off afterwards when you've done your painting. Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. John at School Cool, thank you so much for coming. David Atkins, thank you, mate. Hello. Thank you for coming. So I found liquid latex on the internet again, and this were a couple of quid, and it's exactly the same. So how I use it sometimes is if I've got a job and I want to make it rust, all the shades and colours are rust, using the sponge how I've shown you, then when it's dry I'll put the latex over it, exactly the same, just tip a bit out onto a dish or a tray, and then dip your paintbrush in and put it, and it dries to a rubbery latex. They use it in theatrical makeup and stuff like that. That's what they use it for. That's why it's flesh tone coloured. And then you can paint over it all, and then if you peel away the latex after, it reveals the rust from underneath, and hopefully if you haven't gone right to the edge with the latex, the paint kind of seeps and blends in a bit. Then you can touch it up with a paler fade and put some faded runs down onto the paint job to make it look even better. Right, I'd like to thank you all ever so much for coming. Thank every one of you. I really do appreciate everyone coming, and I think I'm going to do this again next Sunday and see if I can make it slightly regular, but I will be better organised, and I'll have things better set up. Like I'll make sure that I've got enough battery life in my camera. I'll make sure that my camera mount isn't going to wobble and fall off the bench, and all the other things that I've got wrong, I'll put those right for next Sunday. And I think what I'll do next Sunday is I'll get all my locals, and we'll have a meet the fleet where you go through and look at all the locals. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. I appreciate your help, mate. Thank you ever so much. Thank you for that. And so I'll see you all next Sunday, but I'm probably going to see you all in other people's lives way before then. So thank you all for coming. Absolutely overwhelmed to see you all. It's been great. Thank you ever so much. I can't thank you enough. It's been great fun. Thank you all. Bye bye for now. Take care, look after yourselves, and I shall see you all very soon on the next stream, whoever's going to do it. Thank you all very much. Bye bye for now.